Greetings fellow Dagorans and welcome to another Mafia 3 video on the Dagorasi channel. And this one's about really the backlash that Mafia 3 got with the fact that it's using kind of a racism as a stance in its game, and it's a major part of the game, and it's got a black character instead of a white, and all the stuff that's gone on there. I'm sure you've heard over the past month or so since its announcement, and I just really want to talk about that because I've kind of tried to avoid it for quite a long time on this channel. And I thought I'll have my say on it now. And the fact that people have kind of gone mad about racism being a part of the game, and the fact that it's a black character instead of a white one, is complete bullshit in my eyes. I don't understand how people are angry at this at all. I really don't. I think that the fact that racism is a part of the game, and the game being in this era, is really exciting, to be honest with you, because that's kind of really demonstrating the era very well in the southern city in America. That's kind of what happened at this time in 1968, and the fact that the game has got the balls to be able to show that well in a video game, and that screenshots like this are showing that we're going to be able to see this in the game, is very exciting for me to experience a historically correct era, and that they have got the balls to do it correctly. A lot of people have said that the game is crossing a line with the abuse of the African American community, and it is running at a risk. And to be honest, I agree that it is running at a risk of getting backlash, as we've seen that it's got it so far, because it seems okay to show a film that is aged 18 and over, like this game is going to be, with racism in it that is set in 1968 against African American community, because it's showing the era correctly. Whereas in a video game, it is showing in the era and it's using racist towards African Americans, like what happened at the time. It's apparently politically incorrect because it's a video game for some reason. And I know that's not part of the gaming community that watches these videos, but this is generally part of the mainstream media that is issuing this. But I really, really find it hard to agree with on that front, because it's the same as a film in my eyes, and it's portraying a game in this era, and it wouldn't feel right to me if the game didn't have this kind of stuff in there, because I know that, say, the Martin Luther King assassination happened at this time, and the civil rights movement was going very, very strong in these states of America, and I want to see some of that in this game, especially when I'm playing a black character. I want to see that impact my character and impact the story in quite a big way, if I'm going to be honest with you. And the fact that Hayden Blackman has come out and said that it is going to impact your story, I'm very happy about that, and I really don't understand how people can be upset with that. Also, I saw this one comment on the Mafia 3 trailer that kind of I thought I would include, and it was from someone who said he doesn't understand why it's a half black man and a half white man instead of going for a full black person, who's going to go in the black mob. Which, to be honest, I can see the confusion if you're looking at it from the face on. Like it was quite a long comment. He also put that he's trying to bridge the gap between white and black people. I don't really understand that. What I think it is going to be is I've got a theory video that Lincoln Clay, who's the main protagonist, is going to be Joe Barbaro from Mafia 2's son, and is going to be a mixed race because of that, because Joe is white, and I'm going to guess that his mother is going to be a black woman, and that way he's half caste. And I really don't understand. I mean, I don't see how this is a problem, to be honest. I think it's, if anything, I think the fact that we are playing a black character in this era is more exciting for me, because like I said before, you're going to see the racial slurs go towards you, and the big impact of the civil rights movement on your character, more so than what you would if you was an Italian American. Okay, this is one that I can understand being an issue for some people, and that is having the black mob in the game instead of the Italian mob. And I can understand this because the Italian mob is, the main part of the Mafia series so far. It's the main mob. I know we've had glimpses of Irish and glimpses of the black mob in the past, but the fact that we're separating ourselves from the Italian mob as we are playing in the black mob, but we're fighting against the Italian mob, still shows that we are still getting the Italian mob in there, but we're getting more of the black mob in there itself, and we're including aspects of the Irish mob with Burke, who is the lieutenant of the game. At first, I will admit that when it's said that it's going to be following the black mob story more than the Italian mob as you're playing in the black mob, I was like a little bit put down, because the Italian mob is my favourite mob to follow in crime drama films and things like that. But the idea now that we are going to play a completely different mob, and it's kind of going into the unexpected a little bit more than what it would be if it was going into the Italian mob. And I'm really excited to play with this new mob that has been put down by the Italian mob and now is coming up and fighting against them. Is something that's got me excited, and it sounds really cool to play in my eyes. Okay, I will admit that when I found out that the game is going to be set in 1968 New Orleans and is going to have all this racial tension amongst the game, I knew that there was going to be some backlash from the announcement, some racism from people, some people thinking it's a risk to go in there, some people thinking that they shouldn't even touch this era. Well, I don't understand why, to be honest with you. It's a game that has got its every right in itself to create a story, and to create in the story, it's got to be able to, in this era, it's got to be able to show aspects of society at that time. And that means showing racist comments, racist tension, civil rights movement actions, and hearing about it on the news to be in the game. You have to have racism in the game like this to an accurate portrayal of the world that it's going to be in. The gaming community always gets these kind of backlash moments from mainstream media and journalists from all around saying that games shouldn't be allowed to do this because it's wrong and it's showing racism. Like a big one that kind of comes into my mind is in Bioshock Infinite. You know, it's a game that is kind of all about racism in that game. And the game is an 18 rated, so it has got a complete license to use racist terms, but it doesn't have one racist comment in there. And that really kind of drove me away from the immersion and think like it's not going the extra step, and it didn't feel as real as it could be as if it had them kind of words in there and showed it well. Like the best films that show racial tension is the ones to me that show the extent of what happened in them times, where racism was at the forefront. Like I know this is before 1968, but 12 Days a Slave was a film with Chiwetel Ejiofor where it showed a guy being taken away into slavery. It's based on a true story, and it showed him getting whipped, being racist to all the time by white people, showing racism in complete action. It didn't get backlash. It was credited for showing how it was at the time, whereas this game could do that on the minor scale. It's not going to go all out going like, oh, this is what happened in 1968, but it's showing glimpses of how it happened, and it's giving us a general picture of what it was like for African Americans in 1968. At the end of the day, though, I will have to admit this is a big ballsy move from Hangar 13 to be able to set the game in this era. I mean, well, they could have set the game in the era with an Italian American mob and gone with someone who knew Vito or something like that and gone down that line and avoided this backlash amongst the civil rights movement and everything, but it wouldn't have felt right to me if it was going to be in New Orleans and not have racism in there. And I'm happy that they've been able to grow. It's a game company that's come around, has grown some balls and shown racial tension in a video game that is a game that is set identically to the real world, and I'm very, very happy that it's doing that. And I'm going to be honest, it's got me more excited for the game. Okay, so that wraps up everything for this video. I know if you've got anything that you disagree with me in what I've said in this video, leave your comments below and I'll try and have a debate with you in the comments below. Also, leave your comments on how you think Mafia 3 is doing with racism or the racial tension. I don't really want to call it racism because it feels wrong about it, because it makes me sound like the game is being racist, where I don't think it is at all. It's just portraying the world that it's being in. I want you to all leave your comments below of what you think about Mafia with the racial tension and the idea that the game is racist, dished around by people across the World Wide Web. And I really want to hear what you've got to say. Also, subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot of new stuff coming to the channel. I'm going to keep with the Mafia 3 videos and keep doing the Mafia 3 news updates. I've got a podcast coming out as well, which is going to be, I haven't decided if it's ever going to be every week or every 2 weeks, but there's going to be a gaming podcast, and it's going to be probably coming out in a couple of days' time, and it's going to be on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube. You can watch it on the channel as well, or listen to it on the channel, and it's going to be audio only, so definitely subscribe if you like the sound of that. Also, I am going to be releasing a couple of reviews as well, because I felt like the Let's Plays wasn't doing too well in my eyes, and it took a lot of work, so I thought I'm going to do reviews for now, so expect them in the future. And yeah, I hope you liked the video. Leave a like, leave your comments below, follow me on Twitter at DegoraC, and also subscribe to join the fellow Degorans. Goodbye.